Well, welcome everybody. Appreciate you being with us. Welcome to another edition of our Gimmal Education Series. My name is Marcia Shields, and I'm from our customer success team. With me today is Tim Butler, sales engineer and subject matter expert for all things Gimmal Physical. Tim is going to be talking today about Gimmal Physical and searching with synonyms. Tim, would you mind going to the next screen? Thanks very much. Just a few housekeeping items for everybody. Our session will run about 30 minutes today, including time at the end for your questions. Questions are certainly welcomed and appreciated. So if you could post those in the Q&A area in the Zoom bar at the bottom, that would be great. I'll be monitoring that and I'll tee those questions up for Tim after his presentation. And yes, so congratulations. Our newest All-Star is Tracy. She has earned enough points to get her Gimmal All-Star badge. We really appreciate all the effort and participation you've had, along with others who have been an All-Star, and for being a great part of our community. We still have a few months left. Q4 sessions will come out soon, so you still have your chance to earn your Gimmal All-Star badge. Tim, that's it. We're going to do a poll question, but we're going to do that after your great presentation. So I'll hand things off to you.
All right, good. Thank you. Let me get the right screen up here. All right, there we go. Good. So,
Yep.
guys, again, thank you. Appreciate you spending some time with us here today, looking at the topic of synonyms within the Gimmal physical application. And pretty targeted feature here, guys. We actually introduced this as part of the standard feature set starting in version 3.15. Of course, it's moving forward. And there's really two flavors of our synonym functionality. I'll show you both of them. But before we just start clicking buttons and showing you how it works, just kind of in plainer English, guys, it's just a way to enable you as you're searching for data primarily to be able to get hits even when you use different terms, right? As long as those terms are somehow related. I will tell you what we've seen historically is two primary use cases, but you guys may have more, and that actually will be the gist of our poll question a little bit later. We really do want to query you guys to see if you can think of other places where this would be helpful. But the two areas where we've seen this, one is in the public sector, especially back east here in the US. There's, some old towns here, right? Have been around for hundreds of years, or cities, but they've been known by different names, over time. And so it's nice, right, to use synonym functionality so that if you search by any of those city names, as an example, over time, you get hits for all of the city names because in reality, it's the same place, right? It's just been known by different names over time. So in the public sector, we've seen that use case. And then in the life sciences or the pharmaceutical sector, guys, and I'll show you this example as well, really, a single chemical compound, if you will, a drug, it gets known by different names throughout its marketing life cycle or based upon geography or what have you. It's really the exact same drug, right? But it's known by different names. So same concept there. There's a way, and we'll show you this, when you search, you're able to see all of the hits based upon any of the search terms that you've put in that are related. Probably didn't say that very eloquently, so hopefully the demo here will help you understand it all. To that end, let's go up here, and I'm on a Files tab, guys. You can apply synonym functionality anywhere. Oh, I should mention, so a lot of you are aware, you can change lots of configuration options all by yourself under admin and various links there. This particular feature, through version 4.1, which is coming out very soon, in fact, it's just coming out this week, you cannot create a synonym functionality all by yourself. It's something that Gimmal Client Success has to do for you. So if you like what you see today and you're like, wow, I'd like to have some synonym functionality, you will need to have that conversation with Client Success. They can do their magic. They can turn that functionality on for you. So just be aware of that caveat. All right, with that, let's jump up here now. And we're going to search, first of all, on the Files tab. I've got a data element called city. I want to bring up those records on the Files tab where there's some value in the city field. So Keeping it simple here, guys, you can see, although there's more file records in this demo, these are the only 4 that there's a value in this city field. So nothing magic there, just a typical standard search. What is kind of magic, if you will, right? In terms, I'm going to focus your attention on these last 3, right? Kind of just setting the stage. 3 different data records, but they're all referencing the exact same geographical locale, right? It's just Istanbul has been known by different names throughout history. It just works as a nice example here. So what the synonym functionality allows you to do now, rather than just doing that is not null, I can do this kind of thing. I can say, okay, I'm looking for files, but I only want the files that are related to where the city is Istanbul. So I can search by Istanbul, but notice what the software does. It says, okay, I know you searched on Istanbul, but actually I'm going to bring back records based upon these other city entries because I know they're related. And I'll show you how that relationship happens in just a minute. And of course, it works with any of these, right? So you can also do this kind of thing. You don't, as most of you are aware, you don't have to type in the entire name of the entire field contents there, like Constantinople. I don't want to type all those characters out. So I can still do a partial search, in this case, CON. Same basic idea. The software says, okay, CON, it matches Constantinople, but I know that Constantinople is also related to Byzantium in Istanbul. So search by any of the values so that you get all of the values or all of the records returned. This version, kind of option 1 for the synonym functionality, guys, is based upon a list. And I'm going to go show you a little more details about the list in a minute. But got kind of a pop quiz for you guys. And Marcia doesn't even know this. I didn't tell her this ahead of time. But I'm gonna offer on behalf of Marcia some extra all-star points. If any of you are intuitive enough to figure out why this is, I'll give you just a minute to put it into the chat or the Q&A. If I search by IST, so IST is a part of Istanbul, right? So when you search, you'd expect, kind of like I did with CON a minute ago there, you would expect to get these 3 records. Are any of you insightful enough, and I know I'm asking a lot here, why in the world is the software bringing back that one record where the city is Washington, D.C.? There is no IST in that city. I'm going to give you a few seconds. If anyone's super smart and puts the answer for that in the chat before I show it to you, then I'll try to persuade Marcia, give you some extra points there. All right, while you're thinking about that, I'm going to jump over here to
We got, do
Oh,
you see
good.
that?
Yes, yes, yes. Excellent. Brandy, RJ, well done. So let's jump over to admin. Let's jump over to where we manage list values. As I mentioned up front, guys, this is not a standard list. It's something we have to configure that we call a synonym list. And it's in the application here as cities. And good for you guys. Brandy, RJ, you're exactly right. Let me show you, first of all, if I highlight Istanbul, notice, unlike typical lists, you get these additional fields over here to create the synonym relationship. So Istanbul is the master value for these other guys, but Washington, D.C., when I click on him, he is the master value for District of Columbia. And guess what? District of Columbia has an IST in there. So one takeaway from this, guys, is kind of cool, actually, I think, is I actually don't have any file records that are using the value District of Columbia. All of my file records that refer to Washington, D.C. are using Washington, D.C. But what this list-based synonym functionality does for you, even if you don't have any records referencing some of the dependent values, it will still bring back values. In this case, I searched by IST. It was smart enough to know, well, IST is in District of Columbia. That's related to Washington, D.C. So it brought that file record back as well. I hope all that made sense. Clearly, I think for Brandy and RJ, it already made sense. So good for you guys. All right, so that is option 1. Based upon a list field. It's easily the simpler of the 2 ways of using the synonym functionality. Option number 2, guys, I'm going to search a little differently here. We're going to go with the drug name this time. I'll do the same basic search to start us off, is not null. So here's the pharmaceutical example, right? Although certainly it could work in other industries as well. Again, I've got 4 records. These records, guys, are actually, now here's the big difference. Whereas my first option there was related to a simple drop-down list, a synonym list, if you will, that's populating the city. In this case, the synonym functionality is not based upon a list, but it's based upon tabs within the application. Let me show you what I mean. I've got a tab in this application called products. So I'm going to jump over to products. And as is true of all the tabs in Gimmal Physical, right, you can actually build it out with as many fields as you want, unlike a list where it's always just a single field. So this is one of the reasons why you'd opt for this variation of synonym. Now, I've kept it simple for the demo. I've only got a single field here that I'm displaying called product name. In this case, I've made up a product called Wonder Drug. But then I've got another tab in the application called Synonyms, which points back to product. So when I use that convenience link here, we've jumped over now to the Synonyms tab, which is related to products. Notice I've got for that same exact chemical compound, which I've called Wonder Drug, depending upon the locale, it goes by different names. In the US, it's either known as Wonderful Drug or Wonder Drug. In Germany, it's Wunderbar Drug, and you can read on through down the list. It's the same exact thing, but known by different names. Now, not that you necessarily need to know this, but part of the magic of as what's happening here is that when you have this tab-based synonym functionality, when you create a new child record, in this case, I've called it synonyms, right? When you create one of these and you point it back to the parent, I want to draw your attention over here to this field that I've captioned drug name. You could caption it anything you want. But what we do kind of under the hood there, guys, is when you create a new synonym, we use the synonym name as well as the product name, and we concatenate that stuff together into a field that we auto maintain for you. You never have to do data entry here. In fact, you can't do the data entry. We make all this happen under the hood. It facilitates what I'm about to show you. Let's go back to the Files tab. So back here, same basic idea, guys, but there's one added benefit of using the tab-based synonym functionality. If I come up here to the drug name field, and well, let's take a look down first off before I start clicking stuff. Here's the different names that we know for the drug based upon locale. I can do this kind of thing. I can say, hey, show me all the files where the drug name is awesome, right? Well, although it's really only known as the awesome drug in Turkey, because these have now been related via the tab-based functionality, it brings back hits for all of the records, regardless of what they called it, right? So you can search by any of those values. Let's go with super rather than awesome. It's the same basic idea. If you search by any of the values, it will return hits for all of the values. The one additional benefit, guys, here of the tab-based functionality rather than list-based, I want to draw your attention now to the synonym name. If you say, well, you know, Tim, there's times I really don't want all of the records returning. I just want to search on a specific variation. That's what the tab-based functionality does for you. And in this case, I called it synonym name. So over here, if I do my search on super, rather than searching across all of the records, in this case, we're focused just on those records that they actually used the word super or S-U-P-E-R. So in the end, guys, 2 different capabilities here with the synonym to draw related records together. In the end, the primary use case, the primary value prop here, guys, it allows you, regardless of what different people may have called something, if it's logically all the same thing, you can use the synonym functionality. And once again, Brandy, RJ, good for you guys. That took some intuition on your part. Well done. Let me kind of kick it back over to Marcia now. Open the floor for any questions.
Okay, coming back. I'm coming back. Okay, I'm actually going to give the crowd a question myself. So I'm going to launch a poll. Based on what you've seen today with Tim reviewing this, we're curious if you could see a use case for synonym functionality. And then while that's going, I will tee up a couple questions for you, Tim, if you don't mind. I actually have a question. What version did you say the synonym functionality entered the product? I think you said that earlier.
It entered in 3.15,
Okay.
and it's available moving forward from there.
Okay, great. I had a side question about if there's additional cost for this, and I just wanted to clear out which version. Okay. Um, One question is, can synonyms be used for legal hold searches?
Good question. The answer is yes. We kind of already have some functionality, if I understand the gist of that question. Um, I don't think I can do it in this application. I have to show you a different application. But for now, I'm going to ask you just to hear my words on that topic. The quick answer is yes. We now have standard functionality. It's similar in logic to the synonym functionality, but specific to legal holds. Let me at least just describe it for you guys. Maybe we'll cover it in a different education session at a different time. But let's say you have a legal holds tab, which virtually all of you do, and you've created as many holds as you want. And then you need to associate those holds to records, boxes, and or files in your application. What we introduced recently within the application is a new, what we call a companion text box. And I know it's a little bit abstract, just gonna ask you to try to connect the dots. Every time you select a hold on a box or a file, it does what it has always done. It selects that hold, but now we actually take the text of that legal hold, usually the legal name, that field on the legal holds tab, and we put it into a text box, the end result being, even if there's one hold or there's 10 holds, you can search by any of those hold names so that you get hits based upon this new text box that we have. So it's not logically exactly the same as synonym functionality there, but kind of going down that same path. If that was not what you were really asking, please just ask again and we'll try again to answer it a little better.
Okay, thanks, Tim. I think you hit on this, but the question is synonym searching case sensitive?
Great question, guys. And actually, broaden the question a little bit. No, there is no case sensitive searching anywhere in Gimmal Physical. It's all case insensitive. So be aware of that. The only place where case sensitivity is applied is if you are using what's known as forms authentication and you have to log into the software every time. The password field is the only place we use case sensitivity.
Okay. And the last question so far, and you can still post questions if anybody has them. Is there a limit? Is there any limit to the number of synonyms you can have?
Nope, not in either case, whether it's the list-based synonym functionality or it's the tab-based, it's really up to you. Have as many as you want, it'll operate the same way.
Okay, thanks, Tim. That is all the questions, but I am going to share the results of the poll question. Hopefully everybody can see that. The question is, could you see a use case for this? 43% yes, 43% maybe. So, well, if you're interested, reach out to any of your Gimmal folks that you work with typically. We can help you. Hang on, Tim. One question, I'll read it. Once the synonym functionality has been enabled, can users add or edit on their own? Or would they need to
Yes.
contact client success?
Yeah, two answers there, Sarah. So what Gimmal has to do for you is configure it either as a list or a tab. Once we've done the configuration, it's all yours. You can add as many values to the list as you want. You can create as many synonyms as you want based upon disparate values in the list. And same thing with the tabs. You kind of maintain the data side of things. We're just setting up the architecture. So no, once it's been configured, have at it. It's all yours. The only time you need to come back to Gimmal is if you want a new synonym, a new list, or a new couple of tabs to affect that functionality, which I don't think is going to happen very often. Once you've done it the first time, you probably are good to go.
All right. Okay, now I really think you're done, I think. So thanks for the questions though, everybody. That's great. Tim, would you mind throwing up, I think, just the last slide? Just want to highlight a couple things coming up.
Yeah, I will try.
And not the next one.
Oh, I'm seeing another poll quiz.
Yeah, it's just for events. So in closing, we're still on the road, some of our Gimmal people. So if you're going to be at any of the upcoming events, please let us know. Sometimes when we're on site there, we'll have some fun after events, dinners, etc. So we'd love to hear if you're there. Also, Tim, could you go to yeah, there we go. All right. So this is what we have coming up for the remainder of the education series for Q3. We have a Gimmal Records session coming up September 18th. You're more than welcome to join that. Q4 education series will be announced soon, so keep an eye on your inbox for that. We'll have those out probably in mid-September. We've just finalized what those are going to look like. Other than that, we really appreciate you all being here today. If you have ideas for future sessions that you would like us to present, please drop me a line. I'll be happy to put those in the mix for future sessions. But that's it for today. Thank you, Tim. Thank you, everybody, for joining us. We appreciate it. Have a good one.